So now prepare yourself to travel far and wide as Cabaret presents Destinations. We also are dedicating this show to our beloved former Cabaret president, Charlie Gugino, who you will hear more about later. First, to perform our signature opening number from the 1966 musical of the same name, we give you our own Leisure World Cabaret. It quickly became a popular song with other artists as well, such as Ella Fitzgerald, Doris Day, Frank Sinatra, Mel Torme, and Diana Krall. Connie Farron will now welcome you to our show with I Love Being Here With You.
That's
songwriter John Denver in 1966, and made popular by Peter, Paul, and Mary in 1969. Denver wrote his song about himself as he gets ready to embark on an extended tour, but wanting to assure the woman he loves, that he is totally committed to her before he heads out to the airport. Tosca Leaves will sing us his thoughts put to music. Get Your Kicks on Route 66 was recorded by Nat King Cole in 1946. Route 66 became famous through books, movies, and songs. It was called the Mother Road by John Steinbeck in his book, The Grapes of Wrath, and was used by hundreds of Depression-era migrants going from the Midwest to California, hoping for jobs and a better life. Lynn Atkinson will now give us her jazzy, upbeat version of the song.
Are you ready? Yeah! Okay, here we go. If you ever plan to go west, travel my way, that's the highway, that's the best. away. More than 2,000 miles all the way. Get your kicks on Route 66. Now you go to St. Louis and Joplin, Missouri. Oklahoma City looks mighty pretty. You see Amarillo and Gallup, New Mexico. Flagstaff, Arizona, don't forget Winona, Kingman, Moscow, San Bernardino. You get into this content when you make that California trip. Get your kids on Route 66. Now you go to St. Louis and Joplin, Missouri. Oklahoma City looks mighty pretty. You'll see Amarillo and Gallup, New Mexico. Flagstaff, Arizona, don't forget Winona, Kingman, Moscow, San Bernardino. Oh, you get it this time. When you came that California trip. Come on and get off your phone. 66.
Mr. Bojangles, which means happy-go-lucky, was written by Jeff Walker. He was inspired to write this song after an encounter with a homeless street performer who called himself Mr. Bojangles while he was in a New Orleans jail for public intoxication. Brian Tiffany inspired us with his sober rendition.
Little man of jangles and he danced for you. Worn out shoes, silver hair, ragged shirt, and baggy pants. The old soft shoe, he jumped so high, oh, he jumped so high, that his lightning touched down. I met him in a cell in New Orleans, I was down and out. He looked at me, the eyes amazed, as the smoke cleared out. He talked of life, oh, he talked of life. He laughed, clicked his heels and stared. Said his name, Bojangles, and he danced a lick. he brings the bed. He shook his head, and he shook his head. I heard some ask him, please, Mr. Bojangle, Mr. Bojangle, Mr. Bojangle, Dad.
Hit the Road, Jack was recorded by Ray Charles and hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1961. The lyrics tell a story about a woman who has had enough of her partner, referring to him as Jack, and expressing her frustration and determination to end things with him. Our Nina DeRosa will tell you all about it with Tony Burris as Jack.
I don't know if I want to be seen. Can you get the lights turned down? Beautiful.
Well, I guess you need to go. You gotta pack your bags and go.
By the time I Get to Phoenix, a song about the breakup of two lovers, was made popular by Glenn Campbell in 1967. The album of the same name won the Grammy for Album of the Year in 1968. The first country album ever to win. Our Tony Burris will now move you with his version.
What a life, guys. This should be a life kind of situation. Here we go. Me and Mrs. Charlotte Davis. Let's do it, baby. This is for you, you, and you. By the time I get to Phoenix. You guys. I'm leaving. Do I left that girl so many times before? By the time I get through, she'll be working. She'll call my name. I know. And she, hear the phone keeps on ringing. I got caught up on the words. I called that girl so many times before. By the time left, yes, we need the lights. So when I do make that kind of mistake, you can't see his face. Yeah, and she, hear that phone keeps on ringing on the wall. That's all. By the time I get to Oklahoma, she'll be sleeping. She'll turn softly and call my name out low. She'll cry when she sees that I'll never leave her. Do I told that girl so many times before? By the time I make Oklahoma, she'll turn softly and call my name out low. She'll cry just to think I will leave her. No, I tried to tell her so. She didn't know I would really go. Thank you.
6 days on the road, dubbed the Big Bang of trucker country, is an upbeat and positive song about the life of a truck driver who spends most of his time on the road watching for highway patrolmen, smokies, scale weigh-ins, and experiencing the loneliness of being away from home and loved ones. William Young will both energize and entertain you as he performs this song.
Well, I pulled out of Pittsburgh, rolling down the eastern seaboard. I got my diesel wound up and she's running like I never before. There's speeds on the head, but alright, I don't see a cop inside. 6 days on the road, it's gonna make it home tonight. I got 10 more years and a Georgia overdrive. I'm watching little white lines and my eyes are open wide. Just past the Jimmy and White, I've been passing everything inside. 6 days on the road, it's gonna make it home tonight. Oh, well, it seems like a month since I kissed my baby goodbye. I could have had a lot of women, but I'm not like some other guys. I can find one to hold me tight, but I can never make believe it's right. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight. Yeah! Well, the ICC, they're checking on down the line. I'm a little away from the mob, a little way behind. But nothing bothers me tonight. I can dodge all the signals alright. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight. My grave's a little old, that don't mean she's swell. There's a flame from the staff and the smoke's going black as coal. My hometown's a coming in sight. If you think I'm happy, you're right. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight. 6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home tonight.
California Dreamin' is a song written and recorded by John and Michelle Phillips of the Mamas and Papas in 1965. It is about a songwriter sitting in New York on a cold winter's day, dreaming of a warm climate and motivation to gain wealth or fame in California. Vicki Van Earth will sing this beautiful song with her own cabaret backup Mamas and Papas.
Yeah. Flower power. Let's go back to the 60s. All the leaves are brown and the sky is gray. I could go on a winter's day.
Queen of the Road, originally King of the Road, is a song written and recorded by Roger Miller in 1965. The lyrics tell about his day-to-day life of having very little money, but with means, by no means, still has his freedom in a humorous and cynical style. Listen to how Connie Farron lends her style as Queen of the Road.
Look on the other
bargain for you now. 2 songs for the price of 1. Chattanooga Choo Choo and The Sentimental Journey. Chattanooga Choo Choo, which was recorded by Glenn Miller in 1941, begins this medley. It was written by Matt Gordon and Henry Warren while on a train from New York to Chattanooga. It's the story of a Southern boy coming home to marry his sweetheart after living in the big bad city. The song is paired with Sentimental Journey, a song that expresses a longing for the past. So settle back as Maxine Chavez takes us on a sentimental journey on the Chattanooga Choo Choo. Our special guest artist tonight is our own Leisure World in-house comedian, Adrienne Rosenfeld. She was a Comedy Store regular for 3 years with a regular time slot of 9:30 every Saturday night. She also performed at the Improv and the Laugh Factory. So put your hands together again and welcome Adrienne to the stage.
How's everybody doing? Great show tonight? Are you enjoying yourself? And what talent on this stage. I'm in awe, I tell you. And what a great theme. Destination. Yeah. You know, life is a destination. Do you remember when you were young and you couldn't wait to be 16 so you could drive? Then you couldn't wait to be 21 so you could drink legally. You could vote, but you could drink legally. But nowhere ever do I ever remember thinking to myself, wow, I can't wait to be over 70. The people that think 70 is a good number are already in their 90s. You used to go out to the bars and to the clubs and you'd run into all your friends. Now you meet them at the doctor's office. and you compare symptoms. Little tip, don't ever ask an old person how they feel. They will give you a detailed blow-by-blow description that is not going to end well. No. And now here we all are in Leisure World, our final destination. And we're all driving our final cars, yes. You know, my son asked me when I moved in here, does anybody ever move out? I mean on their own. But I love living in Leisure World. It's the best waiting room I've ever been in. And what I really like are the incident reports. Do you read them? If you're feeling bad about yourself, just read those and you realize you're pretty good. Like there was the resident that thought someone broke into their house and stole their dog's medicine. All right, we got two options here. So by show of hands, how many think maybe they just misplaced it? Okay, one option. All right, how many think that they took the medicine by mistake and then forgot that? Yeah, I think I'm with that group. Yeah. And then there was the lady that reported that all her clothing, her beautiful clothing, was stolen and replaced with shabby ones, which just happened to be her size. And then there's the resident that thinks that their neighbor is just messing with them by changing the lock on their door every so often. You can't make this stuff up. But my favorite one is the lady that called security to say that there was a mariachi band playing in her attic. There's a lot to unpack here. First of all, how many were in the band? And how did they get those big sombreros through that little attic opening? And why a mariachi band? What's the matter with a rock band? Or a jazz band? Maybe the Mormon Tabernacle Choir? I don't know. And why her attic? What does she have in her attic that makes it attractive to mariachi bands? I wouldn't care if a mariachi band came in my attic as long as they brought the margaritas. Yeah. And where was this woman when the mariachi band sauntered into her house and said, "Oh look, an attic. Let's go up there and play." And you know, security has to take this seriously. So let's think about that. Security. What? There's a mariachi band in your attic? Okay, we'll be right there. Bob, lady in Mutual 14 says there's a mariachi band playing in her attic. You want to take this one? No, I just spent 5 hours looking for dog medicine. Okay, I'll take it. All right, lady, you say there's a mariachi band in your attic? I don't hear any music. Well, of course you don't. They take a 20-minute break between sets. Now, he has to prove that there's no mariachi band up there. So he has to go up there. What if there was a mariachi band? That lady knew that there was. And they were on a break. They were up there eating chips and salsa. What would he do? Hey, when you're done with your break, can you play La Bamba? I'm Adrian. Thank you.
Stars Fell on Alabama was based on an actual 1833 event where a spectacular occurrence of the Leonid meteor shower was observed in Alabama. It was later made into a movie in 2021. Lynn Atkinson will now leave us starry-eyed in her own sultry style.
You know, I wrote this song for a long time, and I never knew that it was based on a true incident. I never heard of that meteor shower, or whatever. Anyway, thank you. We lived our little drama. We kissed in a few while as stars fell on Alabama last night. I can't forget the glamour. Your eyes held the tantalized as stars fell on Alabama last night. I never dreamt in my imagination a situation so heavenly, a fairyland where no one else could enter, and in the center, just you and me, dear. My heart beat like a hammer, my arms round around you, and stars fell on Alabama last night. Miss Charlotte Gay. I never dreamt in my imagination a situation so heavenly, a fairyland where no one else could enter, and in the center, just you and me. My heart beat like a hammer. My arms round around you, and stars fell on Alabama last night.
Top of the World was written in 1972 by Richard Carpenter and John Bettis and sung by Karen Carpenter. It was a Billboard Hot 100 #1 hit in 1973. The song is about overcoming obstacles and achieving your dreams in a world full of wonder and awe. Tosca Lees will lift us to the top of our world with her rendition.
Your feelings powerful. There is wonder in most everything I see. Not a cloud in the sky, not a sound in my eyes, and I won't be surprised if it's a everything I want to go is now coming through, especially for me. And the and it's telling me that things are not the same. When the leaves on the trees and the crack of the breeze, there's a pleasing sense of happiness for me. There's only one wish on my mind. When this day is through, I hope that I will find that tomorrow will be just the same for you and me. All I need will be mine if you are here. I'm on the top of the world, looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I've found ever since you've been around. You're what's put me at the top of the world. I'm on the top of the world, looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I've found ever since you've been around. You're what's put me at the top of the world.
I Left My Heart in San Francisco was written in 1953 by two amateur writers, George Corey and Douglas Cross, who were longing for the Golden State City after moving to New York City. Tony Bennett first performed this in 1961 at the Fairmont Hotel in San Francisco, and for the next 60 years it remained his signature song. Ryan Tipton will now perform his version of Tony's classic.
The loveliness of Paris seems somewhat sadly gay. The glory that was Rome is of another day. I felt terribly alone and forgotten in Manhattan. I'm going home to my city by the bay. I left my heart in San Francisco. High on a hill, it calls to me where little people cars. I'm halfway to the stars. The morning fog may chill the air. I don't care, my love waits there in San Francisco. Among the blue and windy sea, when I come home to you, San Francisco, your golden sun will shine on me.
Driving My Life Away was recorded in 1980 by Eddie Rabbitt. It's about the hectic lives of roadies and their constant traveling, which creates a sense of restlessness in a person who is searching for some meaning in his life. William Young will also give new meaning to this energetic song.
Oh well, the midnight headlight, blind you on a rainy night, steep, it up ahead, slow me down, taking no rolling. Ooh, I'm driving my life away, looking for a better way for me. Ooh, I'm driving my life away, looking for a sunny day. Oh, well, the truck stopped here, coming out of you, trying to talk me into a ride, said she wouldn't be sorry, but she was just a baby. Hey, waitress, pour me another cup of coffee, pumping down, jack me up, strip me up, flying down the highway, looking for the morning. Ooh, I'm driving my life away, looking for a better way for me. Ooh, I'm driving my life away, looking for a sunny day. Oh, well, the midnight headlights, blinding one rainy night, sneak straight up ahead, slow me down, taking no time. I gotta keep her rolling. And know the windshield wipers slapping out the tempo, keeping with the rhythm with the song on the radio. I gotta keep her rolling. Ooh, I'm driving my life away, looking for a better way for me. Ooh, I'm driving my life away, looking for a sunny day. Ooh, I'm driving my life away, looking for a better way for me. Ooh, I'm driving my life away, looking for a sunny day. Yeah. Driving my life away, looking for a better way for me.
Speaking of trips, 99 Miles from LA was written in 1975 by Albert Hammond and Hal David and recorded by Art Garfunkel. It's about two lovers who are miles apart, longing for each other's presence while driving amidst inclement weather, telephone poles, and road signs. Maxine Chavez will take us on this soulful, poignant journey to LA.
Keep
1939 movie The Wizard of Oz, which had us following the Yellow Brick Road, and the African-American version, The Wiz, in which we were invited to ease on down the road. The Wiz was first debuted on Broadway in 1975 and won 7 Tony Awards, including Best Musical, and was later released as a film in 1978. Charlotte shows us how the two can be combined. Take it away, Charlotte. was written to cut through the racial tensions of the 1960s with words of love and appreciation for the world and its people. Could use a little of that right now. Nina DeRosa will now uplift your world with her own wonderful style.
Thank you. The song is dedicated to all the children in the world. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see the moon for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, rising bright, bright as the day. The dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Colors of the rainbows, so pretty in the sky, are also the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying how they do. They're saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow, how much more than I'll ever know. When I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Runaway became a major international hit in 1961 and was written and recorded by Del Shannon. But the first recording was a complete failure. So Shannon and the keyboard artist Max Crook rewrote the song using Crook's unique keyboard style, which you will hear in the piano accompaniment coming up. Vicki Van Ert will now perform that once unique style for us.
Together, oh,
Our next song is a mashup of Kansas City and Sweet Home Chicago. Kansas City is a rhythm and blues song written by Jerry Leiber and Mike Stoll in 1952. They were inspired by the legendary Kansas City blues legend Big Joe Turner, even though neither songwriter had ever been to Kansas City. Sweet Home Chicago was a combination of country and Chicago-style blues. It is a metaphorical description of an imagined paradise far from the racism and poverty of the Mississippi Delta during 1936. Tony is sure to move you with his soulful singing, with spirit accompaniment by Andrew Dusson and Charlie Gay.
Yeah. Check this out. There's something more to it. Got the city, here I come. She's trying to get me to
tonight. To Tim Fitzpatrick and Connie Farron for their amazing technical skills. Your announcer this evening has been me, Harry Patrick. And my lovely wife Sandy Nelson on the video camera. Let's hear it for Tony Burris on drums. Andre Dusson on guitar and bass. Special guest artist, Adrian Rosenfeld. And the legendary Charlotte Gay, our musical director. Let's hear it for our entire Leisure World Cabaret. Now, for our musical tribute to our past cabaret president, Charlie Gugino, a great singer and wonderful friend, we will now present a video, My Way.
So we considered My Way Charlie's signature song. And what do we think about whatever we hear? We think of him.
Instead of our usual cabaret finale, please join us in singing the song We Love You, Charlie, which can be found on the back of your programs. Thank you very much for coming to our concert this evening, and please keep yourself safe and well in 2024. I'm told that a bus is available outside to take people home if you want. Good night and Happy New Year, everyone.